Hey guys, what's up? We are finally here at the 100 Dragon Challenge recap where I'm going to go through all of my dragons and react to them. But before we jump into that, I wanted to let you all know that all 99 dragons are now available as prints on my website. I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys throughout the years asking, is this one going to be a print? Can I have this one printed? And I got all of them uploaded, ready to go for you guys to order. So if you guys would like to get any of the 100 Dragon prints outside of the 100th, that one's not available yet. But if you want to get 1 through 99, those are all available at KatelynMcCaigue.com/shop. Also, now through the end of the year, I'm offering a 15% discount on all of my 100 Dragon Challenge prints. So if you want to get that 10% off, make sure to use the coupon code KM100 at checkout to get 15% off all of your 100 Dragon Challenge prints before January 1st. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we're going to jump into my reaction to all 1 through 99 dragons that I have created. A quick little bit of preface, I'm kind of acting as my own art director in this one, so I might be a little harsh on myself for previous ones, but it's just more of like a reflection on where I've come and how I've grown as an artist and kind of seeing the faults and follies over these 5 years of creating dragons. So I don't want anyone to take offense to it at all in terms of when I like maybe rag on one a little bit harder than others. It's just more me critiquing myself and also seeing how I've grown over the past few years. So if you're at a different skill level or anywhere in your art journey, please don't take anything I say to heart. It's just more me reacting to my own art and seeing how I've grown and basically how I could have improved on past designs. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn and welcome to the 100 Dragon Challenge recap. I've been looking forward to making this video for a while because I am very excited to go back through and look at all of the dragons with you guys. So for those of you who might be stumbling across this video without knowing, basically I started a 100 Dragon Challenge video 5 years ago, according to YouTube. It says 5 years, I'm looking at it right now. But basically I wanted to design 100 different dragons and make a video for each of them. I was hoping to get this video to you guys sooner, but I have been on and off sick since like September, and then I had a big trip and then I got sick right after the trip. So it's just been kind of a crazy couple months. So thank you for your patience, and I hope you guys have fun with me on this video because it's gonna be really cool to like look back where we started with this before we hit the 100th dragon in January. And I can't wait for you guys to see that too. I'm very excited for what I've been cooking up. But yeah, let's just like jump into it. We're gonna watch all the videos together. I'll probably dice up some parts and not like show every video because that would be a very long video for here. But we're gonna go through and at least react to every dragon that I've drawn in the series. So as you can see, here's my playlist. We got 99 different videos for our 100 Dragon Challenge. We've had like 115,000 views. That's really freaking cool to think about how many of you guys watch this series. It's really awesome. But yeah, according to here, it was started 5 years ago for this first one, for the radioactive zombie dragon. So let's go ahead and just start watching and jump into it. So yeah, according to this video, this was, what date was this? It says 5 years ago, August 10th, 2018. That's crazy. That's so crazy. I think that was when I was still in my apartment. No, was I in this new place yet? I don't know. Either way, it was my old video setup. I had this old board that I ordered on Etsy. It had like some feet on the bottom, and I was like, I didn't have a wooden desk. I still don't. I have a glass one, so I didn't want you guys to like see my legs through the desk. So I have just this little wooden board that's on the desk, and so that's all I wanted to draw it on. I actually forgot that this was started because I saw a Jake Parker video for designing 100 of something. I was really inspired when I saw that from him, and I used to follow a lot of his like art advice videos back in the day. So I forgot that that was all started because of that video. I was like, yeah, I love dragons. I love drawing. Like, let's do 100 of them because I don't know what I was thinking. It was a little crazy, but I was like, let's try it. And I at the time, I think I was doing these every 2 weeks. So I was like, this shouldn't take long because like every 2 weeks, let's see, there's 52 weeks in like a year, if I remember correctly, 52. So then I could finish like every 2 weeks. So that would be half of that. So that's like 26. I could do 26 a year. So I was kind of signing up for something that would take like 3 to 4, maybe like 3 years. I don't know if I did that math right, but either way, I didn't know it was going to be a 5-year commitment. But yeah, this was the beginning of, I think, a really great skill challenge, because I didn't really know what to expect with drawing 100 of something. I know Jake Parker talked about how it really helped him improve and like get more creative with different prompts and creations. But I was like, how good can it actually be? Like how solid is 100 of something? And honestly, looking back at this first one, I can already see improvements. Sorry for the quick cut. I just adjusted my background noise. I thought the background video might be a little too loud, so hopefully this mix is okay. We're gonna find out and we'll figure it out. So yeah, what was fun with this one was this was very reminiscent of like designs I used to do for my comic. This one was like heavily influenced by my comic Jade Dragon and some monsters that were from that. So I 100% believe this first one was like from a very solid comfort place, because it looked very similar to something I had drawn and designed before. So this first one I feel was like, I've made this, I've created something like this before, so let's start with this one because it's my comfort zone and I can start off with something that I'm comfortable with. Also, this series started with all dragon heads. We didn't really get into bodies right away, but I had a lot of requests from you guys to do like the full body dragon. And yeah, I eventually did it. Took a little bit of time, but we got there. But for a while I was like, no, I just want to do a head. I want to do a head because I think I was just afraid of the amount of work it would take. And then that poses more creativity burden. So I would say if you guys do something like this, go outside your comfort zone and do something that makes you uncomfortable in the creative process, because that's how you're going to grow, is if you like kind of push your boundaries a bit. Because for sure, I feel my dragon body anatomy greatly improved because I forced myself to draw the body of all the dragons. And if I kept these as portraits, that would never have improved at all. And instead, with doing the full body, I got to do cool face designs and full body designs. Even though this is like one of the first ones, I still really enjoy this design. I think this one would be really fun to redesign. I feel a lot of these early ones would be fun to explore as a full body dragon. It's hard to know if I'll ever do that or if I'll ever make a video, because I'm like constantly making kind of newer stuff. But I mean, I like the idea of it. I think it'd be kind of fun. It's also kind of fun to look back at my old editing style. I did things a little bit differently. I had like the 2 camera angles and that was it. I wasn't moving the side camera. It was like, this was the angle that it was, because I was kind of limited in like where I could place the camera in general. I didn't have like the full arm that I have now. And I think that made these videos a little bit, I guess, easier to edit, because I was like, I don't know if they were for sure like easier to edit, because this was still like early on when I was editing a lot. Like I would go to work, I'd come home, I'd record these and edit them, and that was it. Like it was a pretty quick turn and burn. But yeah, I'll talk more about backstory of this stuff as we keep going, because I could go on forever and we'll be on this first dragon for a while. And I think this one is fun because like this was the first one that I tried adding like kind of a background shape to, and adding like that weird radioactive bubbliness to, which I like on this one, but I don't think I continued it afterwards. I was like, yeah, I'll keep doing that for all of these. And I did not continue it. I'm like, you're getting a portrait or a body, and that's it. Because yeah, I just wanted to keep creating the designs, and yeah, I didn't really continue the colors, but overall, I think it's pretty solid. There's a few things I would fix. Like, I feel the mouth anatomy is kind of weird. Like, it's very much curving more upward than I think it needs to in certain parts. Like, it feels like I took a person's mouth and put it at the end because of how straightforward the teeth are with that type of angle. So yeah, I think there's some anatomy fixes and some like detailing I would change, but you know, pretty solid first dragon. And yeah, this was the call out to start the community challenge, the first one, which is crazy that we've kept this community challenge going, even with social media platforms like changing how I can find them and everything. Like, it's been fun to see all the dragons, which I think we'll go over too, because it's pretty cool. So next up from that one was the Battle Scarred Sea Dragon. I remember there was a lot of like the early submissions were multiple word things, like it needed to have like battle scars and it was a sea dragon, you know? There was a lot of multi-word suggestions instead of like later on where it was like ant dragon or like turtle dragon, you know what I mean? There was a lot of descriptors that went with some of the early suggestions, which was fun. I still really enjoyed those, but I also like the general terms, because then it makes you like be, I guess, more creative, adventurous, instead of being like, okay, I have to make it look like this. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, I like both, but yeah. Oh God, yeah, just seeing the early anatomy, the early sketches. Like, I still fall into weird anatomy with some things, but God, yeah, it's changed a lot. Like, that face on the left, way too long of a mouth. It's cool and stylistic, and I know I picked it up from like early DeviantArt days. I did that a lot and saw a lot of people do like those crazy, cool, big smiles. And it's kind of like Maro from Princess Mononoke when she gets the big toothy grin. But yeah, there's certain anatomy things now I'm looking and I'm like, I am so glad I did this. I have changed and improved a lot. Yeah, we were still in the portraiture phase, and like I think this was right around the time when I was starting to learn how to blend the Copics. I have a friend who ended up being Copic certified. She went to like a whole course for it, and she later kind of taught me how to more effectively use my Copics. And I think this challenge was like right around the time where she taught me that trick. So then I started using it a little bit more throughout the challenge. And I can see like I started doing certain things, but not everything. Like some of my shading is different now. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of see the difference in coloring style. And I was very much like, I still do this sometimes, but it was like, here's the one color, and then you get the one thing of shading, and that's it. And I feel like newer ones, we push more with diversity in color and like gradation and such. This one was really cool. I kind of would change the stomach a little bit. I don't know how I feel about those little things. It reminds me of like the sea dragon, seahorse type of thing. And I think that must have been what I was inspired by. But he's a pretty fun design. I still say he's pretty cool. I still really like this design a lot. And now it's time to see like the community challenge aspect, because this was crazy. Like I was so surprised I got so many entries for that first one. It was really cool, and like it's interesting seeing so many usernames that are still doing it and sticking around and have been doing it all the way through the 99th one. And then it's also interesting to see some usernames that I haven't seen in years, like at all. Like either they aren't on the channel anymore or just don't do the challenge. It's kind of fun to see how much the community has changed over the years and how much I've changed too. It's kind of cool. All right, next up was the Bee Dragon. Now this one is probably my most popular print at conventions. I still reproduce this headshot. I kind of want to redo like a different type of bee dragon for a print, but it still is really popular. So I think this was like a breakthrough dragon for me. It turned out really cool, and it's still been a really solid design. I know I'm not the first person to do a bee dragon, but I was just very happy with how this design turned out. And I think this is where I started pushing my concept of what like a dragon physique should be. I've done a lot of different dragon designs in the past before this challenge, but it was very much like, here's like the European dragon, this is how it looks. But I think this was the first one in the challenge where I tried something very different than what I usually do. And adding the insect aspects probably helped that. But yeah, for sure, this was a breakthrough dragon. I thought it looked really cool, and I liked the portraiture of this one. I think I would change a little bit in terms of anatomy stuff, like especially the front nose I feel could be slightly improved on, because it feels a little squished. Like I think I needed to change it a little bit, but I still really like this. This was a really fun dragon. Like I said, it's still one of my more popular prints at conventions. It's one of the few from the Dragon Challenge that I keep reprinting because it does sell really well, and I think it's just because it was a cool dragon for me to make, and it was like a good milestone dragon, even though it was only the third one. Yeah, for sure, still one of my favorites, and it's still really cool to look back at your guys' submissions. I can't do this every time. Like, I need to make this a little bit more of an efficient video, but like, it's so cool. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being supportive of me for all these years. 5 years of this challenge. That's crazy. Next was the Ancient Feather Dragon. I thought this one was really fun. It's actually one I added to the creature compendium because it had a lot of good community feedback and a lot of people really liked it. So I was like, let's add it as like a cool monster to add. And I think this was one of my favorite early designs for a while, just because I love like the aesthetic of like Aztec or Mayan things. I know they're very different. Like, I know better now because I think I commented on that in this video. But I think both have really cool looks and aesthetics, and it's just really cool in general. And I liked tying that in with like the horns and the curls and different things in this design. So this was really fun. The thing with the 100 Dragon Challenge was I was trying to continue to push my looks on different things. And I used to follow an art book called, I think it was like Dragonology. No, it was like Dragon Art. I have it on my shelf behind me. I'll go grab it before the next dragon. But that one had a lot of advice for face shapes, and I kept like in my brain during this challenge, I'm like, okay, when was the last time I did a triangle or a square or like a more rounded face? Like I kept thinking that with every dragon because I was trying to push different looks, and then that slowly evolved into like body shapes and trying different types of dragons, different body shapes for those different types of dragons, just to keep pushing my different like challenges, whatever. I'm doing great on the voiceover, if you can't tell. I bet you guys are really enjoying this video. So yeah, Jungle Dragon, really solid. And I remember, I think one of my favorite submission ones was the Bee Dragons. I thought this was a really fun round of submissions. And oh my God, it's so cool to see like the community members that have improved. Like I'm looking right now at some of the usernames, and you guys have also improved a lot in 5 years. That's so cool. I think that's like one of the things that I'm just getting most excited for, is seeing the names that have popped up throughout this whole challenge and how much you guys have improved with every dragon. That's so cool. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for continuing to participate with me. So yeah, next up was Ant Dragon. This one was fun. I think this was a little bit after I met and became friends with Casey Golden, because I remember she suggested this like in the comments, which was really fun. But again, this was where I had the adjective. So it was a tiny ant dragon, which ended up being changed. Like when I put it in the creature compendium, it became a much, much bigger creature. This one was interesting too, because I do not practice bug anatomy as much as I probably should. So I did a lot of making up anatomy for this. I did look at a picture of an ant, but I think I kind of did my own thing at the same time. So it was a combo of like learning the anatomy, but kind of making it up too. Because I'm looking at a few things, and I'm like, I don't think that's how a leg would like totally look on an ant. But I guess since it's an ant dragon, I had to combine some thoughts on it. I guess we'll see later on too, because we do a lot of bug dragons in this, and that made me I guess get better and appreciate bug anatomy a lot more. Yeah, one thing from this challenge is you guys always kept me on my toes. Anything I did, you tried to throw me a different curveball. And so yeah, I learned a lot from this. So yeah, Ant Dragon, solid. I like it. I don't know if we're doing a tier system. I don't think I want to edit a tier system, but I'll give it a thumbs up. I did like this one. Okay, I'm gonna have to go into more speed round because we're only on number 6, and I think we're already like 20 something minutes into this video potentially after editing, so we're gonna go a little bit of a speed round. Dandelion Dragon, I was going back and forth on if I should make it more like brutish or like a little bit more petite or something, but I do like how this one turned out. I think this one kind of leaned more into a cartoony style that I don't really do super often. I made it very simplistic and not like leaning into anatomy very much. Like it was just like a simpler dragon, which is okay. It was fine, but this one was cute and it was fun. But I think this one I ended up rushing. I don't know why or what the circumstances was, but I feel it was rushed. So I would say Dandelion Dragon is kind of like a middle thumb just because there's like anatomy issues and I feel like I rushed this drawing and I think I could make it better. So I think this one's like a middle, could have been better. So I think I could draw it better now. All right, number 7 was Carnage Dragon. I am a huge Marvel fan. I love like Spider-Man and everything, so this was just an easy pick. I was like, yeah, let's do like a fan art or like fan-based one. And I don't think I did another one. I think I did this one and then that was it. I did not want to touch another like fandom per se, because I wanted more of a challenge in terms of designing, because this one I felt was like kind of an easier fandom pick, because you just, if you do certain elements on this, it's obviously Carnage and then you're done. So I don't think I touched another fandom one. I might be proven wrong because there's 99 of them. So yeah, Carnage overall good in terms of like, I feel I did a pretty decent design, but I don't know. I didn't really like this one. Now looking back, it's kind of like a middle to thumbs down for me, just because I don't feel I really flexed the creativity. It looks cool, I'll give it that, but I don't think this was a great one for a design challenge personally. So number 8 was a bioluminescent squid dragon, again with multiple adjectives. I love these early ones. It's so many adjectives. And this one I feel was the stronger of the sea dragons in the beginning. This one was a lot more design heavy, and I pushed some elements like to the squid zone, but it meshed really well with the dragon, and I was very happy with that and the colors as well. This one, oh, I did do the background. I did do the weird blobby background. It came up one more time. And I don't know why I didn't continue it. I guess for this one, I just wanted the blues to pop more, so I put a darker blue behind it. And so we got weird circle blob background. So after adding all the detail, I think I'd give this one a thumbs up. It was fun, and I liked it. I think I would like to redraw this one digitally. Like, I don't think I have any notes for how I would redesign it, but I think it'd be really fun to do like a digital version of it. All right, so number 9 was the Cosmic Dragon, and this one has been kind of a fan favorite as well as like the Bee Dragon, but this one got a lot of attention and you guys really liked it, and I really enjoyed making it. It's actually also in the Creature Compendium as well. We made it like a warlock god to follow. It's really fun. But yeah, I need to see more of it before I comment more, but I know this was a favorite at the time. Yeah, I do like the design overall. I noticed a few things that I could have improved on in terms of like the facial structure, but it gave a nice like cosmic feel. Like it had a cool flow to it. And yeah, I think overall it was pretty good, but I noticed like any type of cosmic or like cloud or like that type of texturing was hard to convey with Copics. I think that was just a skill thing for me, because I feel I could do it digitally a little bit more effectively, because I can like fade and like do gradients and other things a little more effectively. But all things considered, I think this still turned out pretty good. I remember when I started coloring this background, I was planning on coloring the entire paper purple. And I'm glad I didn't, because it would have killed that marker and that would have been a lot of coloring. So this weird cloud blob shape had to do. So that's the hard thing with these. I did not really do backgrounds because it was a little difficult, and I didn't want to use all my markers, because I think at this time I also didn't have like a great paying job, so I was afraid to eat through my markers too fast. So yeah, Cosmic Dragon, after adding the stars, I still did a pretty full background. I could have easily went to the edge. I didn't have that much left. I don't know why I didn't fully color it purple, but either way, thumbs up on this one. I still like this one. There's a few edits, but overall, it was a great dragon. Ooh, we're getting into one that I know I didn't like. So this one was the Arizona Dragon, and I struggled with this one. I was like, I want to do one for my state, and it was rough. It was a rough time. I did not like this dragon. Even looking back now, I still don't like this dragon. It was going to happen. I'm trying to do a challenge of 100. Not every design is going to hit. But yeah, the anatomy of the face, all wrong. I don't like looking at it now. The pose was okay, but like I feel like I could have done something a little bit stronger to show more of the body and detailing. And then like there's no other second leg. Like it's nowhere to be found. I was like, well, it's hidden behind the wing. I'm like, no, Caitlin, you would have seen it somewhere. Like I feel like it would have been behind that other wing. I have a lot of qualms with this one. I know, if I remember correctly, I think this one I was running a little close on deadline. So again, it's another one I rushed and I didn't like it. I don't like this one at all. So yeah, Arizona Dragon, even the coloring I don't like. I don't like this one. So I'm gonna give this one a thumbs down. I think this first major thumbs down. Like, I just, not a good one in the beginning. It just didn't hit right. So I think I was kind of scarred from the Arizona Dragon because I went back to portraiture. I did a full body and I was like, all right, you guys got a full body, and I hated it. So we're going back to portraits. So for this next one, it was a Christmas dragon. I really like this one. I kind of think I'd want to redraw him and make it a Christmas card. I love this design. I like the poinsettia little, like, neck fluffies. I like the horn designs, everything I really liked about this one. So this was a good bounce back after hating the Arizona Dragon. What also helped with this one, because it was a tight deadline, is because it had white fur. I only had dad gray, so it made it go a little bit faster, because I think I was trying to bust this out right before Christmas, and it was a really busy holiday season. But yeah, as you can see, right back to portrait. I'm like, tried a full body for you guys and I hated it. We're going to portrait. But either way, yeah, Christmas Dragon, good. I like this one. I think I would redraw it, fix a few anatomy things, but overall good. So next up was the New Year's Dragon. This one, I know we talked about in the past. Like, I've messaged people on Discord and it's just been a chat of like, this could have been the year of the dragon. But I was like, no, I classified it as like a New Year's dragon, and I designed it to feel like New Year's with like firecrackers and different looks in general. But yeah, I ended up just sticking to my guns and just made this a separate thing. I am getting back into full body though. Like, I finally was like, you know what, we're gonna try a full body, and I struggled because I was very bad about planning spacing for like how much space these dragons were gonna take up on the paper. So this whole initial sketch, it just gets trashed. I do something completely different. So yeah, this dragon, I remember taking a long time. I was just like really into all the detailing, and I'm glad I went back into full bodies and went for this one. But I was so hesitant to go fully because this one took so long. It's still a little hard to balance doing videos with a full-time job. But at the time, this is when I was in a really bad job and I was stressed and tired all the time. But I was trying to find my escape through making these videos and having fun. But I think as I introduce more and more full body dragons, it's because I was actually like starting to enjoy things more and more and not like dying from my job. So, you know, it's just a fun thing to think about back in the day where this was a really hard time for Katelyn, but she decided to do a challenge to draw 100 dragons, because what screams I'm totally fine, I'm not drowning, than adding a giant challenge of 100 dragons. So New Year's Dragon, I would say it's like a yes, no kind of it just goes between the two. Certain things I don't like anatomy wise, and just overall looks, I think I would edit a few design choices, but I still like it. I think it's good. All right, Ice Cream Dragon was next. I had a lot of fun with this one. We went back to portraiture again. I think it's just, I keep jumping back and forth between the two because of timing, but this one was actually really popular at conventions too. I stopped printing it because it kind of dropped off. It was like really popular at first and then no one wanted it anymore, so I stopped reprinting it. But I think this was another community favorite. A lot of people really liked this one, and I leaned more into a cartoony style for sure. I think what's fun with this one and then like future ones is I like to see my style diversity. It's kind of cool to look through and see how different each dragon could be if I tried different things. Like, there's a base like look to all of my dragons that I'm like, yeah, that's something I drew. But it's cool to see like trying to push like general style to a different look. So this one was fun. This felt like a gateway into doing like fursona art. I don't know how to put it, but a lot of people look at this one and they're like, oh, you can draw furries. And I'm like, I guess I can draw furries. So that's kind of fun to think about, that this was in that style. And I have that style available somehow, which is cool. So yeah, Ice Cream Dragon, I give a thumbs up. I still like this one. It's great. Oh my God, we're only on 14. There's so many dragons. I hope you guys enjoyed this long video, and I commend you if you make it to the end, because there's gonna be a lot. So So next up was Snail Dragon. This one I don't like. This was another not great hit in my brain. I feel that the design overall was a little bit too much snail and not enough dragon. I think the face was good. Face, I feel, was solid for what I was going for with the dragon. I could have added a little bit more of like horns or something more reminiscent of dragon. I think the little things on top help. But then the body just didn't feel like a dragon. Like I was glad to use the shell and that was fine, but the rest I didn't like. So yeah, I'm just like conflicted on this one. Overall color detailing, I like the colors I picked. I like the texturing I did. I don't think it's very strong now looking back. I know I could do something better, but at the time I felt this was good. And then that shell is a very odd perspective. So I think I'll give this one still like a thumbs down because I didn't really like the design. It was okay. It's too much snail, not enough dragon. Oh God, the Valentine dragon. Oh yeah, I remember this one. This was fun. I was like, I want to make a cool like bat dragon with the heart-shaped nose. I thought that'd be really cute. And then the final execution, I decided to do a full body, but not really a full body. It was like the chest and like the back was hidden. I don't know. I don't like this one. Certain things about it I think are fine, but I like the ears and the nose I like, and then I don't like the rest. I think having certain things like the bigger fluff here was cool, but I think I could design this one a lot better now than I could then. So yeah, Valentine's dragon, especially, oh God, I forgot I did like the polka dotty stuff because I almost made it like a bunny body as well. Nah, thumbs down for me. Not my favorite design. I think I could have done something better. Oh, I did have the feet. You did see the back feet, but yeah, still, no, thumbs down. Not my favorite. So next was the Beholder Dragon. Okay, so I did do another fan arty type of thing because Beholder's art from Dungeons and Dragons, but this one was enough that I could push a design and it wasn't just like, here's like two aspects that make it a thing, you know? It's just, I think this was a much stronger, like, bringing in a pop culture thing to a dragon combo. So this one is still one of my favorites. I think it was a breakthrough in terms of like how I was coloring and trying different things, and it was very heavy in detailing and time. And I think this one was one of the few that made me start to enjoy doing full body dragon designs. And it's still a pretty big favorite of the Creature Compendium. A lot of people like it, and I used this exact drawing to be the one for the Creature Compendium because I liked it so much. But yeah, Beholder Dragon, really cool, still like it. I would change some stuff, obviously, like that's gonna be pretty consistent, but thumbs up, I still like it, still proud of this drawing, I like it a lot. Next up, we started the 7 Deadly Sins with a Sloth Dragon. This one, I'm just gonna do speed round of this one because it's just a fuzzball. He's cute, he's fine. I'm gonna give him a middle because like, it makes sense for sloth. I made him like literally like a sloth dragon and he's just laying there and he's a cute fuzzball. So I'm gonna do middle because I feel we could have done the Deadly Sins a little bit more, not grotesque, but kind of a different design aspect, you know, could have went a little bit more intense with the Deadly Sins. So I'm going to give it kind of a middle point. Yeah, he was okay. Okay design. And I like the little piggy. Little piggy was cute, but yeah, middle of the road design. So yeah, after that was the Crystal Dragon. Now this one is a big thumbs up for me because this one was crazy, but so cool. I think this was the one that had the most line art detail so far. And I'm still very proud of this one. Even looking at it now, I think I nailed the anatomy. Like it feels like a really good Drake design. I think the head could have been a little bit smaller. Not by much though. I think that's my only critique. And I still really like the colors. I like the palette I chose and the kind of like the rock gray with those nice blues and purples. I'm very proud of this one. It's kind of cool to go back and see. But this was good. I love this dragon. So yeah, Crystal Dragon, thumbs up. I liked it a lot. It was a really fun design and I was very proud of it. And it's a very solid one for being in the first 20. Like I feel I could draw this one with my skills today, but I think I just hit it gold like that day, you know? After that was a St. Patrick's dragon. I wanted it to be a cool clover dragon with some gold and such. This one I also feel had strong anatomy. I think I must have just had a breakthrough after the crystal dragon. I was like finally understanding anatomy a little bit better for these dragons because I feel this one was really solid. Yeah, body structure worked well. There's one part of the anatomy, I think one foot should have been in front of the other, not the other way around. But still, I think it's still a really solid design and a really solid dragon. So yeah, proud of this one. St. Patrick's Day dragon. Solid. Thumbs up for me. Oh my God. So the next one is steampunk dragons. We're going to take a minute for this one because this was episode 20. I was like, cool, it's a big milestone one. I was so excited to record this. And I ended up messing some stuff up. I forgot to hit record. This was in the early days where I didn't have like my Steam Deck next to me and it would flash if it was recording. Like I had something that I could hit to start recording, but it didn't work super well. So yeah, I was so disappointed because this is when like we really started hitting some really great like inertia with this challenge, and everyone was really excited for the steampunk one, and I forgot to hit record. So I took it in stride. I got up to, I think it was, yeah, right about here. I got through a bit of the coloring, but I would say now I'm looking back, it's like almost like half to a third of the coloring was done. But it's like a third. I was just devastated that I forgot to hit record. I actually like walked away from this for like a few weeks because it was such a blow. Nowadays, I'm like, oh, well, I guess we're just skipping the part that wasn't recorded. But I decided to do a skit with some friends. Oh my God, this was so fun. I had so much fun doing this dumb skit. Oh my God. When was this? What year was this? 4 years ago? How is this only 4 years ago? This feels like a lifetime. April 12th, 2019. I did this freaking skit. I had my long hair still where it was like kind of the in-between shoulder length. See, that was the button. I had to look at that little record button to see if it recorded, and I lost the whole last half of it. So I did this 5 stages of grief thing. This was really fun. I'm actually kind of glad I did it. It added more editing to it, but it actually made this video enjoyable again because I was devastated and I didn't even want to touch it. But adding this in, I was like, this is kind of fun and funny again. And I had a good time. I think my favorite part though is there's a part where, yeah, I'm freaking out. I'm yelling at things. And then like, I like record, like I'm just standing in the corner upset. I go into like manic mode to like redraw it. And it was a drawing that my friend did, who was over helping me film at the time. Oh my God, it's so good. I love it. And then I just like, where is it? What was the stage of denial? Oh yeah, I think it was like depression. Yeah, stage 4. And I was like, it'd be funny as if I like chugged a beer, because I'm like, let's go full like alcoholic type of reaction. And I end up almost like choking and dying, and I almost spit beer all over the main steampunk right here. Let's do a recap on that one. Oh my God. Oh. Okay, let's watch that again. I spit it all over myself and my desk, and I almost got it all over the original dragon that was a little off camera. Oh, that I would have been even more devastated. I don't know what I was thinking. Fresh, open beer. Yeah, chug it and just choke. Oh, it's so good. Oh, young Katelyn, you were funny. This was great. Oh, I forgot about, we had a cosplay for the last one too. Either way, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that skit. And Steampunk Dragon, really solid. I liked this video overall too, so it gets like 2 thumbs up because fun video, plus I liked the design. Wow, we have a lot to react to. I guess that's what I get for doing 99 dragons. All right, next up is the Easter Dragon. I can't really say much about it. I wasn't too pleased with the coloring. Like, I feel like I was going hardcore for the pastels that are associated with Easter overall. I do like his design. The anatomy of like the bunny body, I thought was pretty solid, and the face I still like. But I don't really like the color. It's okay. I think I did fine for what I had, but I think it could have been better. And I also totally colored in the wrong places on the legs just now, I saw. So, I don't know. I would say Easter Dragon, I think it's like a, I don't know, middle of the road, closer to thumbs down. Anatomy good, but I didn't execute it very well. So, kind of a thumbs down. Not my favorite. Next up was Black Hole Dragon, and this one was a similar thing with the Galaxy Dragon. It actually came out around the time where the black hole memes were happening. I don't even remember what that was. How long ago was that? Like 4 years ago? Yeah, I don't remember that meme at all. I think there was like, we discovered a black hole or it was reproduced in a lab or something. So I was like trying to ride that suggestion or like the current news, and then there was also a bunch of suggestions for it. But again, it's one of those like weird cloud-shaped ones that I think this one was, I think, stronger than the Galaxy Dragon in terms of how the cloud shape worked. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I still really like the Galaxy Dragon. I think colors were pretty solid too, but I didn't really know how I wanted to blend at that time. So the transition between the black and the orangey yellow, I think could have been stronger if I had current coloring skills. So Black Hole Dragon, middle of the road to upper, like, it was okay. I liked the design, but I didn't like the color. So it's kind of a middle of the road one. Okay, next up was the Lust Dragon, which, this one was hard because I remember I was struggling to think of how to do lust without it being, like, sexual in a way, because that's how you easily get demonetized on YouTube. So I was thinking like more like lust for power, but we could also like have that kind of sensual side to this dragon. It was hard. It was hard to navigate, and I was dreading this sin for a while. So I was like, I'm just going to get it out of the way and we're just going to do it and we're going to figure it out. And I tried to go for like certain colors that might represent that in my head. Like purples, I feel are very like, it was royalty back in the day, but nowadays purple is seen a lot on like strip clubs or other like sexualized things. And I know lust is not just sexualized in general, but it's what I thought of. And so that's kind of where the design went. I would say this one is a big no for the person because the human anatomy was really bad. I was really bad drawing people, and I feel everything is slightly tilted this way. Like it's weird. I would say this one, I don't really like it. Looking back, I'd say it's a no. I think I could do better now. Better design. Certain things I like, but it's not enough to make it like a win. So I would say, nah, it's okay. So next up was the King Dragon, and this one was really fun. This one was heavy on the detail, and I was very proud of the anatomy on this one and the pose. Like, I think this was another breakthrough dragon in terms of skill level. I think this one was a really good example of when I'd had a small level up during this challenge. Like, I like his color. I think certain ones are a little bit too close in color, so you lose some of the detailing, especially on the chest. And I don't think I should have added all those little red dots. I think I could have done a few less or added more gems in certain areas instead of having a bunch of dots. So I would still give this one a thumbs up. I think it was good anatomy, good design, except that other wing, not good anatomy. So overall better anatomy, but I think I could have done a better job in choosing certain color things. So, but still, thumbs up. I liked it. And then immediately after I did the Queen Dragon. I do like this one. I think this one had a stronger use of certain detailing that I added to the body design and some of like the jewelry accessories. I liked them a lot. I actually kind of want to reuse some of these things that I designed in here. But I think certain things I rushed on, and I don't think the jewelry sits how it should on like a leg or an arm, but I would give this one still a thumbs up. I like the color, the design is fun. And this overall was still a pretty fun dragon to design. I would change a few things, but I think it's still good. Yeah, I think this one's still good. So thumbs up. Next up is the fungus dragon, which at the time I was super proud of. So I'm gonna kind of scrub forward towards where we're done coloring and see if I still like it as much, because I was very proud of it at the time. So yes, I would still say I like this one. Coloring wise, this one I think could have been colored a little bit more efficiently or effectively if I was either more skilled with Copics or I did this digitally. But I like the design. I'm happy with the anatomy because I remembered certain anatomical things with how he was sitting. And I liked the use of the different types of mushrooms. So overall, I still really like this one. I think it's good for the Copics, but I think I could do better if I could do this digitally now. But yeah, Fungus Dragon, solid. Still really like it. Thumbs up. We're only on 27. I know I promised you guys this video where I was going to do all of them, so we're doing all of them. Oh my God, I love it. Down below, I talk about Area 51 and I have context. Area 51, US or secret US Air Force military installation. That's funny. But yeah, I did Area 51 Alien Dragon. So this one, I think I leaned a little into comfort zone a bit again with this one, but also did some weird things. Like the head shape, I feel is very reminiscent of Alien, like Xenomorph Alien. And it's not bad, but I kind of wish at the time I was more comfortable with other Alien designs, because that's like what I thought of. But it's been in more recent years I've been trying other sci-fi art. But before this, I didn't really do a lot of sci-fi art, so this was a good challenge overall. So yeah, Alien Dragon, I would give this one middle road. It was okay. I think I could have done something a little bit better, but at the time I just wasn't experienced with sci-fi stuff. So it was good to practice this and try it overall. Okay, so next up was the Skeleton Dragon. So this one, I remember I was looking at a couple of different like skeletal structures for some like different lizards and things like that. But I remember, I think I flubbed a lot of this at the same time. I kind of did a combo of like made up some skeletal structures, but then referenced a few. And I think that's just kind of what happens with creature design in a few things. You just kind of go between actual reference and kind of making something up that looks good. But yeah, so this one I feel, it's okay. I like certain things about it and certain aspects, but I think he feels a little smushed on the page. So if I had a little bit more room to expand his anatomy overall, I think it would have been a stronger piece. So, okay for me. So number 29 is the Gargoyle Dragon. So this one was a top contender for a long time in like my book of favorites. So I'm curious if I still like it as much or if I'll have like more critiques of this one. This one was interesting because I got to use more of like line art technique because I wanted to do more like cross hatching and giving like the effect as if it was like made of stone and kind of in a cool comic book style was kind of what I was going for. I think this one is okay. I still like it, but now that I'm looking at it again in like its full look, I think it's okay. I think certain aspects could have been pushed a little bit more to look more like stone, but I'm giving this one like an okay to higher, because even now I think certain aspects would be a little weird to convert to like a stone look. I think I should have used more hard edges instead of like more rounded aspects to make it look like stone. So I'm gonna go middle, still good. Middle, still good. So for 30, we had a stuffed animal dragon. I remember this one was kind of based off of one that I had sewn in the past. I think this one was okay. I feel it could have been stronger. Like the perspective of it and the way it was sitting, not my favorite. And the color, like the patchiness color, I was fine with, but I think this one is just like an okay to not my favorite. It's kind of an in-between. It's just... That's what happens when you do 100 of something. You're going to hit some and then some are not going to be great. So I'm going to say, it's okay. Next up was a peacock dragon. I did really like the anatomy of this one overall back in the day. I thought this one was really cool, but now looking, ooh, I have some critiques. I think I made certain parts a little bit too thin and a little too big. I know even now I suffer from it, which is like big head syndrome, where I make the face and heads of different things a little bit too big for their body proportions. I feel I've improved, but still not perfect. So this one was okay. And I don't think my coloring technique was the strongest for this one. So I'm gonna say, I don't really like this one as much. It's okay, but yeah, it's all right. 32 is the pangolin dragon. This one was one of my favorites. I still really like it. I think if I kind of applied more of the coloring technique, some of those gradient transitions would have been stronger, but I really like this design, and this one was really fun to do. I love big, cool, plated creatures. So yeah, pangolin dragon, very fun. I love the design. Still one of my favorites, and now I kind of want to go and redraw it and like actually draw multiple poses of it, since I only really have this drawing. So yeah, pangolin, awesome, love it. So 33 was the koi fish dragon. This one had a lot of like line art detailing, and then I did go through with quite a few different colors for that type of detailing. So I remember this one took quite a long time back in the day. So yeah, I did a bunch of different patches of different colors, and I made it more of like a primarily white koi with orange and black, and then the yellow. So I like this one. This one was good. I think it was a strong design. It was fun to do like a fish dragon. Like I really like aquatic dragons, I'm noticing in this challenge. So yeah, I would give this one thumbs up. Some things I would change, maybe certain coloring techniques, because I feel like you can't tell where the light's coming from in certain aspects. So yeah, overall, pretty solid design. So 34, we have another aquatic dragon. Like I said, there's a lot that come up in this series, because I mean, aquatic aspects are pretty cool. So like this one was a coral dragon, which I also incorporated like a leafy sea dragon to this one. And I think this one is amazing. I still really like this one. There's a lot of really cool line artwork, a lot of really fun detailing, and the colors I think turned out really fun too. I think this was a good combination of trying to do a couple of different colors and blending, but allowing some areas to have like just the solid color with shading. So this is still one of my top favorites from, I guess, the first 40. So big thumbs up for me. I really like this one. This one was just a lot of fun to do, and it's cool to see again. Next up was Gluttony Dragon. This one was fun because I noticed like I didn't really do a lot of creepy art on my channel that often. So this was kind of dabbling into that and showing you guys some more of my creepy stuff back in the day. And I still really want to draw more creepy things. I haven't really had a chance to do it. But I still really like this one. It's cool, multi-headed, weird, gross thing. I think this one though feels more like a monstrosity and less like a dragon. I think I should have added a few more dragon aspects. Like even wings might have helped a little bit to bring this more into a dragon realm instead of this weird monstrosity. I don't even know how to describe it. I guess kind of Lovecraftian-esque thing more so than a dragon. So yeah, like it still. Is it a dragon? I don't know, that's up for debate, but I still think it was really fun to do it in the challenge. So thumbs up. Next up was the tree dragon. This was back in the day for Team Trees. I completely forgot about this initiative, and I remember I auctioned this one for raising money for Team Trees to help with that whole thing back in the day. How many years ago was that? 4 years? Yeah, 4 years ago. So I auctioned this one, and I remember I felt really bad for the viewer that did end up winning it. I put the declared amount on like the shipping thing of like how much he won it for, because that's what I was told to do for postage, and he ended up having to pay a ton in taxes. So I felt pretty bad about that, but he still got it, still received it. It's safe and sound. But this is the only dragon I don't have the original of. So I took a ton of scans back in the day, and I'm glad I did, because I no longer have contact with that fan. I haven't heard from them in years, but I'm glad I took a lot of scans. And yeah, this is the only dragon that will not exist in my storage. Like, it's gone. So I still really like this one though. It was fun to do all the different tree aspects. I liked the cool weeping willow thing. I think this was still a really solid design, and I feel it was very creative. Certain coloring things like this wood texturing I would change, but overall, really solid design. I think it was really fun, and I liked all the texturing I got on this one. Next up was a yin yang dragon. I had a lot of fun with this one because it was kind of fun to figure out how to transition like white with black stripes to black with white stripes. And I had a blast with this one. I think it was just a nice, fun, like brain exercise on how to transition those colors between each other. And it was fun. I think anatomy wise could have been a little better. I could have pushed like some differentiation between the two. But looking at it now, I think it has enough to be like, yeah, the heads are opposites, and overall some of the looks on this creature kind of vary between the two. So I would say this one is thumbs up. I still like it. Anatomy, as always, could have been improved, but I liked it. So with the year before doing a Santa dragon, I had to do a Krampus dragon, and I love this one. I still really like this one. I think this was another good breakthrough one on how I could color and texturize like fur with Copics, and how I could add a bit more depth and dimension to the fur, because other ones I didn't really texture or add different colors to it. And this one was great. I really liked it. I think a couple of my markers ran out though, so I ran into some troubles there, but this one was still really solid. This one's a big thumbs up for me. I still really like it. It was a good breakthrough thing. There's a few things I would change, because like some of the hair texturing I could have cleaned up or colored a little different, but overall solid. Still really like this one. All right, next up for number 39 was the Dragonfly Dragon. This one was fun. I did run out of space on the page. I kind of wish I didn't cut off the wings in the awkward position they were, but it was still fun. This one I was very proud of the color choices. I did have a lot of references of dragonflies, so just overall I felt was a pretty good one. Overall, I give this one, I guess kind of like a middle of the road. I think anatomy-wise, I just ran out of space. I didn't plan it well enough, but the design is good. So happy with the design, but I think I could have laid it out a little bit stronger. Okay, next up was an ice dragon. This one was fun. I really enjoyed doing kind of those ice shapes. It felt very reminiscent to the crystal dragon, and being able to use those colors again were really fun. I've noticed for the dragons, I think my favorite colors to use are those blues and purples. I use them a lot for the dragon series. And this one, I tried to push the idea of the white like dragon to be more in those cooler grays and purples. So it still had like that lighter, almost whitish skin, but I'm glad I pushed for the whole body to be more gray with white highlights. And I added some small detailing, like weird, like veiny things. So I think this was another mini breakthrough of certain things. So I really like this one, really solid. Next up was the Wrath Dragon, and this one was very fun. It suffered from the layout problem again, just being on paper. But my favorite thing is the mouth and like the lava aspect I added to it. This one I really like still. Certain things, little things would tweak, but this one is really fun and I really liked it. I think the colors were solid, cohesive, and it helped bring that brightness from like the lava on its neck and the mouth, like how I colored the rest of the body. It just made that part like feel like it was glowing, and I was very proud of how that looked. So yeah, big thumbs up. I like the Wrath Dragon, very solid. I liked it a lot. We're in the 40s, so 42. 42 was the Greed Dragon. This one I was also very proud of for how I conceptualized it, with like being greedy and grabbing like money and whatever you want. So all the spines ended up being fingers and hands. So this one also went into kind of the creepy territory of like how I like to design creepy things. So it was fun to get into that zone again, like how I was with Gluttony. And I was very proud of the coloring for this one. I liked the green that I chose and how it was like reflecting the yellows of the gold. I just really, really dig this design too. So big thumbs up for me. I really like the Greed Dragon. I don't think I would change anything. I think I would keep it the same and just maybe draw different angles of it. Yeah, so this one is a a big win for me. So 43 was the mech robot dragon, which is a very difficult thing for me to draw. I've talked about it on the channel before. I love a show called Zoids where they have these mechanical animals, which is like what I was hoping to convey, but I struggled. This was very hard. I like certain things and I'm glad that I tried it, but this one could use a lot of improvement in certain aspects. I still am going to give it a thumbs up because it's something that I'm not comfortable with, and even now I think it's still a pretty solid design. It's just little things that I would improve. And I think my favorite thing with this one was the colors. I think the colors were very strong on this design and turned out kind of exactly how I was envisioning. So I was happy with my Dragon Zoid, basically. So thumbs up for that one. So we had another Deadly Sin with the Pride Dragon. This one, I feel I didn't want it to be too close to the King Dragon, but I feel I went a little bit too away from adding design elements. Like, I was happy with doing like the crown and almost emulating like a cape as if it was like a very prideful king. But I don't think I did enough design stuff. Like, I went for like a lion looking dragon. I can see what I was going for. But I think I could have added different or better design aspects to give this overall a more interesting look. So yeah, this Pride Dragon, I think I would give like a thumbs down. I think it could have been a better design. I think I just didn't want it to be too much like a King Dragon, so it was okay. So next up was Envy Dragon. I just kind of went on a binge of some of these 7 Deadly Sins. I kind of really wanted to finish them. And this one I really liked. This is kind of where I was talking about earlier with the other Deadly Sin, especially for like Sloth, that I wish I could have pushed it into this more weird, grotesque kind of area, because this one felt really good with like the Deadly Sin, because like Envy, it's like looking at everything that you don't have that other people have and wanting it. And so having all of these eyes and like the frog eye thing, I just thought this was really creative. Like, this was probably one of my favorites from the Deadly Sins. So big thumbs up. I really like it. This one was fun, and it was a good interpretation of like the prompt Envy. Also solid coloring. Overall, just a solid design. I really liked it. So yeah, loved this one. So we're on number 46, and this is when I started another mini series, which was the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse as dragon and dragon riders, and this one was really fun as well. What was hard with this one is I got my metaphors mixed up. So the original one here has the scales because I was like the balancing of life, but that one wasn't really related to death. It was related with a different horseman. So I end up editing that out when I've like reprinted this one. But yeah, I still think it was a really fun design. So this one I would still give a thumbs up. I like it. The coloring was fun. And I think this is one of the stronger of the horsemen for sure. Next up was the Plague Horseman. I like this dragon design a lot. This one was extra grotesque and weird, and I just really like the dragon. It is funny though, going back and seeing how I designed like the dragon riders. Like, I feel my human anatomy has always been weaker than my animal anatomy, but then scaling them down to be so small, like, you only have so much detailing to work with. But I should have taken my time a little bit more, and you can kind of see with the riders, they struggle a bit with anatomy, but they're still good. They match the theme of the dragon, and that's all I care about. So yeah, this dragon, really like this design. It was really fun. I think the only thing I would change is like maybe the transition from skin to feathers. I would add some more like weird pin feathers, or like the pointy little bits before a feather becomes a feather. I think that's what I would add more of to transition to the wings, but still really fun design. So this is where we kicked off another mini series, which was the astrological zodiac. And I started with my sign, which is Cancer. And this one again was one of the dragons that suffered from, it wasn't dragon enough. I leaned a little bit too far into the crab aspect. So I feel this one was more of a monster than a dragon. While it was a fun monster design, I don't think this one really matched the dragon theme I was going for with this challenge. So yeah, I wasn't too pleased with how this one turned out. And I know at the time I was rushing this one. Probably I just was like, we got to get it out. I'm just going to do what I can. And it is the design it is, because some of these videos were rushed back in the day. So I would say like this one is a thumbs down. Color is good. I like my color choice, but I don't think it matches the theme of this challenge. So it's not really a dragon. So not my favorite. So it is what it is. We're on to the next horseman, which is Famine. And this is the one that actually had the scales, as I was corrected in the comments back a long time ago. So I added in the scales on the horns, but I felt this one wasn't as effective with the use of them. I think it worked and it looked cool on the death one, but I wish I did something a little more creative with the scales for Famine. Besides that though, this design was okay. Anatomy was all over the place. I think this is thumbs down. It's not my favorite. The neck and head are all janked up compared to the body. So this one gets a thumbs down for me. Not my favorite. So for number 50, this was when we hit the halfway mark. A lot of people wanted to see a dinosaur dragon. I had gotten that a ton. And I was like, you know, I also would like to make a dinosaur dragon. So we did a golden dragon, but with a lot of dinosaur aspects. And I think this design was really good. I was very happy with like the T-Rex-ish aspect to this one, as well as some of the detailing for this dragon overall. So I was very pleased. I think this one gets a good thumbs up. Little things, little nitpicks on this one, but overall, I'm still very proud of this piece and just like the movement and how this creature like exists on the page. I was very happy with. For 51, we were on to another astrological zodiac, and so we did Scorpio, which is my husband's sign. And this one again, it feels like almost like a gargoyle or some type of like bat creature. It still has like dragon aspects to it, but I feel I could have done a stronger design. It was weird because it both obviously had like the scorpion tail, but I feel like it did but didn't look scorpion enough. It's very hard to explain, but I think it was okay. I don't think it was fully dragon. I feel it was more like a gargoyle or a demon more than a dragon. So I think I'd give this like middle ground. It's still a fun design, but it doesn't fully follow like the idea of dragon in my head. Next up was the Alebrije dragon, which was really fun. I loved doing all the patterns and shapes and things. But one of the things I kind of wish I did looking back was I received a critique back in the day on a portfolio I had when I went to CTN Expo, and it was reviewed by someone who was working at Pixar at the time. And one of the things they recommended in my portfolio review was to actually like look into cultural significance of like colors and certain shapes. So I kind of wish I did a little bit more research on that. I did copy some shapes from existing Alebrije, but I didn't really do a lot of research. I just went with it and I was like, here you go. Here's some patterns I also made up, and here's some that I copied from other Alebrije. But I kind of wish I went into it a little more and saw if there was any significance for certain colors or patterns, or like what they stood for, or like what they represented, that maybe it was something in nature it represented or something. So I wish I did a little bit more research. So this one is still a thumbs up. I like it, but I think I could do it better if I did a little bit more research and learned more about Alebrijes in general. 53 was another horseman of the apocalypse as a dragon, and this one was War. I really like this dragon design. I think it was really cool with like the different detailing and the armor. I was very proud of the chains, and I still think the chains and the armoring and everything look really good. I'm still pretty happy with that. And I think this is one of the stronger riders of the dragons. Like the death one I think was really good, but this one was also really fun. I think this rider design was really cool. And then I thought the colors on this one were solid. I think a couple of my markers were dying, but it still turned out good for the colors that I had. And just overall, I think this was still a pretty good one. So thumbs up. I think I would change some color aspects of it. But the design I was very pleased with. Okay, we're on number 54. I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of this video, knowing me. So this one was an origami dragon. So for this one, I actually referenced quite a few pieces of origami, including like dragon ones and like just other fold techniques for it, which I think ended up paying off for this one. This one was a pretty popular like sticker. I remember a lot of people joined Patreon back in the day to get this sticker. And I think it's very cute as that. And overall, it was a very fun design to do. I think it's apparent that it is made of paper. I was very proud of doing like little flames from like folded paper. So overall, I think this was a really fun one. I still really like it, so thumbs up on that. Next up was another astrological zodiac, which was Capricorn. I was very pleased with this one. I thought this one was really cool. It's very easy to turn a cool water goat into a cool water goat dragon. So this one was just an easy win. I really enjoyed making it, and it was just a fun design in general. But I tried to play with some of like the colors to make it kind of unique and fun. So I'd say thumbs up for me. It's still really cool. I think I would add some other maybe details and texturing to it, but it's still a fun and solid design. After that was another zodiac one, which was Aries. And this one, this one I'm a little conflicted on because the legs, they felt like, looking back, it looks so much like human skin. It's really weird. So I think coloring wise, I didn't really hit it. It kind of looks like he's wearing short shorts. I don't know how to describe it. I've gone back and looked at this one and it's weird for me. I don't know if I like it. I think it was a good design overall, but the hard transition from the fur to like what looks like bare human legs, I didn't like. I don't think that was a good call on my end. So I think that would be the big thing I change. Maybe do a different color for the legs, or at least a different transition between hair and kind of hair. So yeah, that would be my big critique of this one. So this one is for now, a thumbs down. I don't like the uncanny people legs coming out of the fur. Not my favorite. Number 57, a very heavily requested community one, which was a potato dragon. I love this one. Anatomy was great. I think I nailed it for the pose and like the fun playfulness of this dragon. And yeah, this was a very big community favorite because on Twitch, we called it the Potato Palace because everyone was on my like potato chip ship type of thing. And they were all my like best spuds, but we called everyone like tater tots. So it was very potato themed. We kind of leaned into me being part Irish and we're like, that's why it's all potatoes. But I still really like this dragon. It's a cute design. It's in that more cartoony style of some of my earlier dragons, of where it looks like it could be almost like an animated show dragon. But I still love it. The pose is great. Anatomy's great. Overall, really solid design. I love it. And it's very like touching and reminiscent of back in the day when the Discord was like crazy. We had like so many members, so much like constant chatting. I was on Twitch all the time. It's so interesting because like I just had like a different, I guess, energy level. I could keep up with things differently. And now I feel like so many things just are out of my grasp from keeping up with them. So this is one that it gives me a very hard nostalgia hit of where things were. What is this? 3 years ago? Yeah, so I think this was pre-COVID. No, that was like right around when COVID was about to hit, probably. So yeah, it's very reminiscent to me. It's kind of a nice little nostalgia hit to see the potato dragon. And then right after the nostalgia hit is my trauma, which is the Taurus dragon, where I 100% just did a Colossus of the Earth design and added like teeth and tusks because I'm like, that's enough to make it a dragon. It was not. I think this one was the most critically reviewed by the community, which was a little devastating to me at the time. But looking back, I'm like, no, Katelyn, they were right. But yeah, it's not a dragon. It's just a Colossus and it's an ox. Like, I did not add enough aspects to be like, yes, it's a dragon. So this one I would for sure redo. It's a very big thumbs down. A traumatic one for me because I think I just rushed it. This was another one where I was like, it is what it is. And this is what's happening because I'm out of time. And I think that's one way that this challenge suffered was like, I did make 100 of something and it did help me improve and practice. But a lot of these I rushed or just was like, whatever, this is close enough to a dragon. And so I think that's what made the challenge suffer a bit. So big thumbs down. Not like this one. Nope. Bad. After that was another Zodiac with Leo, and I was very pleased with this one. This one was really cool. I loved the design that I did with the flame, and I felt like the face was a good combination of lion and dragon, and just making this one kind of more of an Asian long body style was also really cool. So yeah, this one, I don't really have any notes. I'm still very proud of this one, and I think this one looks really cool. So thumbs up, I liked it. We're on to number 60. We're in the 60s, oh my God. So this one was the Leaf Dragon, another big community favorite, and one of my personal favorites. It was fun to think of a dragon on a much more, not like fully macro size, but a much smaller size, because everything up until here could be a larger dragon, even though the ant dragon was supposed to be small. This one was for sure small with the little fly next to it. This is probably one of my favorite designs in the series. I think it's in the top 10 just because I was very proud of incorporating like the leaf and giving it kind of like a tree reptile feel. So yeah, I'm very happy with this one. Big thumbs up. I love this dragon so much. On to number 61, which is the Virgo dragon. This one, it's okay. It's hard to convey Virgo as a dragon. I think some of these Zodiac ones are a little hard to translate into a creature. So I think design-wise, it's fine. I think it's an okay looking dragon, but it's hard to be like, ah, yes, that is Virgo. But I think Virgo is just such a hard concept to translate to a dragon. So it's middle of the road. It was a good design. I think it was a good, like, overall, like, whimsical looking creature, but it's okay. Not my favorite, but it was still fun. After that was the Spider Dragon, which I really like. It's very creepy. I know this got a lot of reviews from the community on it being just like terrifying, especially for everyone who had arachnophobia. I'm so sorry, but this one was pretty fun. It's terrifying, but it was fun. I don't know what it is with me and flying spiders, but I did this one and like the tarantula hawk, and they're some of my favorites. I don't know why, but I hate spiders, but I like these. So yeah, this design I think was successful. I still think it is dragon-ish. It's dragon enough, especially with like the webbed wings. I think if I put instead of the face looking straight on, if I put a profile, it could have made it look even more dragon. But I'm still happy with it and pleased, so thumbs up for me. Next up was the Aurora Dragon. This one was interesting because I feel this almost delves into that cartoony style again that I sometimes drift into. Coloring technique wise, I think this looks good when it's smaller. I sell a sticker of it and I feel it looks really pretty at that size because the colors tend to blend a little bit better when it's smaller. But here I didn't really use the technique that I had learned yet of like blending and like putting the lighter colors over the darker colors until they kind of seep together, which I think could have made this stunning. Like if I was able to get them to kind of blend in with each other a little bit better. So that would be the big thing I would change, but overall, I still really like this design. Oh my God, old advertisement, Katelyn, of like showing off my shirts for the creature crew. These were fun to design, but yeah, it was interesting. This was the midst of COVID, and I was like, here, let's show off some cool masks and things. And yeah, these shirts were very fun to design. Honestly, this commercial was the best part of the shirts. I had so much fun making a commercial with my friends. I need to do more of that. More fun, dumb skits with friends would be fun, even if they don't make it on a channel. So anyway, next up was the Demon Dragon, and this one was really fun. I love this one. He feels like a weird demon king. I like the cool mouth stomach. Again, I think I just love those weird, like intensely creepy type of things, Cthulhu-esque, cannot fathom type of creatures, and this one was fun to design. I give this one a thumbs up. I think I could have done the wings a little bit better, and I think that's the main design aspect, and probably moved the teeth up a little more so it's not just in the waist, it's not even like in the stomach region. So anatomy again, but this was a fun design. So then after Demon Dragon, we went right into the Angel Dragon, and this one was fun. I tried to make it look like a seraphim with like multiple wings, and I liked doing the cool round gold and like the multiple eyes on the face. I think this one is really solid. I think it has strong anatomy. This was when I still am not super fond of feathered wings, but I feel my feathers have improved over time. Sometimes I still fall into like this style of drawing feathers, which is something I kind of want to work on. Maybe that's gonna make it onto my study list for 2024, is like learning how to draw feathers better and feathered wings. So overall, thumbs up. I think it's a fun design. Anatomy stuff could be improved, but I think that's for all of these. I'm sorry if you're getting sick of hearing that, but it's like gonna continue to come up for most of this. After that was the Sagittarius dragon. I really liked the cool arrows on the top of the head, but I think I could have added a few more design aspects to the body. I think it's a cool dragon design, but I think it might have been cool to add some more color differentiation from like the different manes and hairs. But still, I think it's pretty okay. Thumbs up to middle, more thumbs up, because I think it's just a fun 6-legged creature. So yeah, it's pretty okay. Next up was the cactus dragon. I love this one. I think this one is adorable, and it was so fun to design. I had a blast researching some different cacti that I could pull from, and I feel the colors were very effective. I was very pleased with it because I wanted to replicate what I've seen on like prickly pears and other cactus with that purplish blue to green type of gradation. And I think I nailed it. I was very happy with this one. This one's a big thumbs up. I really like it. And this was just such a fun design. Next up was Ghost Dragon, where I kind of leaned more into Japanese folklore by doing those lantern ghosts. I forgot what the name was, but yeah, I really like how these looked. The face is probably my favorite, doing like the cool big torn lantern face. And then I really liked the back tail going through multiple more round lanterns. This was just a really fun design. And it also just like made the inner Japanese geek very happy. It was just really cool and really fun to design. I also liked making the neck like almost like a holding thing for the lantern, like a big arm for it. And then replicating that metal down like the spine ribs. I think that was a really fun design choice. Good job, Past Caitlin. So this one's a thumbs up. This is like, I think when I changed my camera setup though, so some things got cut off. This is where I start relearning how to shoot videos with the new setup, but still it was fun. It was a good time. After that was the Pisces dragon. I chose to do another like 2-headed Hydra dragon because Pisces is usually like the 2 fish kind of doing this in all of the images I've seen of Pisces. And I thought this was really effective. I thought it was really cool seeing like the 2 heads. I like how I stacked them, and I really like the angle of the bottom head the most. I thought that was really cool. And overall, this was a really fun design that I really enjoyed. Again, does it scream like the zodiac symbol per se? It's hard because like some of these are, I guess, more abstract when it comes to what the zodiac is, but they're still fun to design. And it's not like I can be like, oh yes, this particular thing is what makes a Pisces, or it was the same with Virgo. It's like, it was just a fun exercise to try to interpret them. And I think the Pisces one turned out really good, so thumbs up. So another big milestone one was number 70 with the Pride Dragon. So this one was both fun and a little nerving to make. I think the big thing was just I hadn't really talked about this side of me publicly on the channel. Like, there's been jokes on like Twitch that have come up about it, and just like casually talking about it, but not like straight up saying, yes, I'm bisexual type of thing. So I was a little nervous to make this video just because it's a mixed bag of reactions. Just for a behind the scenes thing, I actually lost quite a few subscribers after posting this, which is fine. Like, if you're not cool with this, then I don't know. I didn't really want people like that in the community anyway. And but on the flip side, I had a lot of younger viewers reach out to me saying like, and this is hard because I don't know how true this is. It could be someone just faking and messaging this, but they're like, yeah, I'm like 13 and my dad is now making me unsubscribe from you because of this. Like, I'm sorry that I have to leave. And that was just kind of sad to encounter with this video. It had a lot of great positivity and it was really great to celebrate Pride with it. But it was also just kind of depressing to see how many people can't be themselves, or it's just hard to see how negative a connotation anything with LGBT can still be in our current society. So it was a little bit of a hard video. I was happy to get it out there, but also terrified. And then most of the comments were very wonderful. There was obviously a mix of not great ones, and then those ones that just made me kind of sad for the person's circumstance, or to know that, you know, there's not as many open-minded people out there as I thought. So it's a mix. I don't know what to tell you. It was, I really like this dragon, and like it felt very much like me because I took an old dragon design that represented me back in the day, and I changed it a bit to fit the bisexual flag and kind of like a butterfly aesthetic of like, you know, coming out of your shell and being yourself. But yeah, I love this design, but it has a mix of emotions for me. Both great to celebrate Pride and connect with so many of you, but then also just sad for some of the circumstances of the comments. But overall, thumbs up. I still love this design, and I would not make this video. I would still make it no matter what. So I love it, and I love you guys. For 71, we had the Moon Dragon. This one is actually very popular at conventions. I really need to reprint it. I was pretty proud of it at the time, in terms of like how I colored the moon. But I kind of wish I did how it was holding the moon a little differently. I still think it's still a fun design, and I am happy with it. So I'm still gonna give it a thumbs up. But you know, this one I feel could have had improvements. I think I would like to redo this one eventually. Maybe even digitally, so I could kind of play around with certain things a little more. But I think it's still a pretty okay design. I just think it could be improved on even further. So yeah, Moon Dragon, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. After that was the Sun Dragon. I think I learned from the Moon Dragon on how I wanted to hold like this planetary shape thing. I know the sun's not a planet, but basically I now knew how I wanted these things to hold these orbs. So this one, I feel I nailed better on how it was held, and I kept in mind how I wanted things to be lit and how to color different things. So I feel this is the stronger of the two in terms of like my personal critique design. I know the Moon Dragon is more popular with community members and people at conventions, but I think this is the stronger of the two. So yeah, thumbs up for me. I still like this one a lot, and I think I did an effective job of like coloring the sun and this creature, so I was happy with it. So after that was the Aquarius Dragon, and like I said with previous celestial ones, how there's not like a thing to point to and be like, this is the zodiac. This is the flip side of it. I feel like Aquarius, it's much easier to convey that it is Aquarius because it has like that urn or like the water pot, and it's pouring out a bunch of water usually for this sign. I thought it was much easier to be like, yes, this is Aquarius, because it's like, here's the pot, here's the water, done. So this one I just got to run with and kind of have fun with a cool water dragon coming out of like this pot, and I just was very pleased with this design overall. I was happy with doing kind of like that reflective water effect going up the body. I feel I've learned a lot in terms of like water dynamics, so I think I could do this even more effectively now. So yeah, overall, like it. This one was fun. I think it's a really cool one for the celestial zodiac. So after that was Libra for the zodiac, and this one I think was a really fun dragon design, but I feel like I added the Libra aspect just more of like an add-on. Looking back, I don't think it's as cohesive as it could have been. Like, yeah, we have the horns that make it look like the scales, but I think I could have done something a little bit stronger for the scales aspect of Libra. So I'm still gonna give this one a thumbs up because I'm very happy with this like toucan Quetzalcoatlus dragon design. I think it's really cool. It doesn't per se fully fit Libra like I want it to, but it's still a fun design. So I still gotta give it a thumbs up because it was a good drawing challenge. So next up for number 75 was a me dragon. I had a lot of requests for drawing me as like some type of dragon. So it was fun because I did a combination of taking my old dragon design that I used to use for DeviantArt which also was used for the Pride Dragon. And then giving it like aspects of me with like my curly red hair, my freckles, and then also pushing it to have more of what I wanted myself to look like internal Katelyn, with like multiple piercings. Like now I have like 2 earrings. I still kind of want to get more piercings. And then like my love of like hyenas and other things. It was just like a combination of a bunch of things that I like, and then things I want about myself, and things that are current about myself. It was just a big mashing of all that stuff, which I guess is how it makes it a me dragon. If it's just a mash of me aspects and things I like, it's for sure a me dragon. I really like this one. I love how the hair turned out. I think I was very particularly impressed with the mane. I'm not full mohawk, but you know, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. It's a cool stylized curled hair. So thumbs up. I like it. I think the mane is my favorite aspect. After that was the digital dragon, which I do really like this design. I think it's a fun, cool digital creature design. But I don't know if I would fully count this as a dragon now looking at it again. It's almost like a dragon humanoid because of the face shape. So I guess it still kind of falls into that dragon aspect. So I still think it would count. See, I talked myself out of that. I think it would still count. But I think it would have been cool to add some type of wings to it as well. But it still is a fun design. I didn't want to do wings on everything. But looking back, I think this one could have benefited from a little bit more of something to it. I was still pretty happy with the design, so thumbs up. I like it. So here with 77, we're getting a lot closer to current timeline. This is only 2 years ago now. And I was very happy with this one, but this one fell into the monster demon realm, less into the dragon realm. So I love this design, and I thought it was very strong in terms of a cool creature to make. But back then I was pretty defensive. I'm like, no, it's a dragon. But now looking back, I'm like, it's not fully a dragon. I think it works as a cool little maybe trickster demon is what I'm getting from it. But I think I could have added a few more aspects to make it more dragon-like. Like one thing I thought of was, instead of like the normal pumpkin that we're used to, I should have done a gourd and added that kind of longer face to it. I think that would have improved it and made it even closer to like a dragon look. So I'm still gonna give it like a thumbs up middle type of thing, because it's a cool design. I still like the drawing, and I feel it was a good experience, but I don't think it was dragon enough. And then after that was another humanoid dragon with the were dragon. This one I do like, but it kind of played into my weak point of human anatomy. So certain things could have been improved overall, but I'm still pretty pleased with it. It had to be like a combination of like human anatomy plus dragon anatomy. And then I was trying to bring in kind of almost like a werewolf looking aspect to it. So I think it still conveys that it is a were dragon. But I think I could have pushed a few things a little bit more to really solidify that, hey, this is a dragon, you know? So I still give it a thumbs up, but I think it could have been improved on. This would be one that I would want to redraw and kind of try again. We're on 79. We're in the final stretch. We got 20 more. Holy cow, I did a lot of dragons. Anyway, this next one is the bookworm dragon. This is a big thumbs up right off the bat. I love this one. This was one of my favorite designs in like the final third of this challenge. It just was really cool to do like a very wise looking worm dragon. So a worm dragon, however you want to pronounce it, WYRM. It's like just a very long noodly snake, but with dragon aspects to it. And I think this worked really well, both for the pun of bookworm, and I really like this design. I think he's really cute, and just the cozy feel I have with him. He feels like almost like a cottage core dragon in a way. It just feels like I could hang out with him in his study, read a book, and have a nice cup of tea. So really like this design, and it's still one of my favorites. So number 80, we have the tiger dragon. I think this one was another big breakthrough one for me because I feel it hit the anatomy right. I did something different with the feet and claws that I was very pleased with. I loved how they turned out. And then the color I feel was so strong. I actually ended up using this one on a playmat that I have over at Inked Gaming. And I just took exactly what this was, slightly adjusted the colors to make them a little bit brighter, but it wasn't that much. So I really like how the colors are, and it could just go straight to print like this. I just really like this dragon. The reds, the oranges, the yellows, I think this was just all a very strong coloring aspect, and the fur texture that I did on the mane, I feel was like what I wanted to do with the Krampus dragon, and I nailed it finally. Like, it finally did what I wanted it to do in my brain. So yeah, I'm very happy with this dragon. 2 big thumbs up. I love the tiger dragon. And also I'm a huge tiger fan, so it just makes sense why I like it so much. And then after that was the Gemini dragon. This one I tried to convey the Gemini like symbol type of thing, like in the horns, which I think worked okay. It could have been a little bit better. And I did like this one overall, but there's a lot of anatomy things that I really don't like. And I feel like I took now that I've seen all of these together, it feels like I took the Seraphim like angel body one that I previously did and just reskinned it with a few different aspects. Like even the chest and the wing design feels very similar. So I kind of wish I did a different pose or a different look. This one feels like I almost repeated the old skill and just updated it, because I feel this one's anatomy is a little bit stronger than the angel dragon, but overall it just felt like I repeated the same thing. So middle of the ground, it's okay. Almost thumbs down. Not my favorite, but it worked for the symbol for the zodiac. Number 82 was my April Fool's dragon, which was a Furby dragon. I was really proud of this one. I was trying so hard not to show the face. I was saving that till the very last thing to color, and I was doing the whole rest of the body and like seeing if anyone could figure it out ahead of time. Quite a few people did. They were like right off the bat, they're like, this is a Furby, isn't it? But it was really fun to do. I think this was just such a fun like gag one. I was so happy when a Friday finally landed on April Fool's, since I was posting these like every Friday. And yeah, I just love this one. It's so goofy, it's so fun, and Furbies are terrifying. And I had one that totally talked without batteries. So I don't like Furbies, but this Furby dragon is pretty great. So yeah, thumbs up. Overall liked it. I think certain coloring things could have been better, but it's fine. It's a fun April Fool's one. After that, we started another mini series within the series, which was doing like the Chinese lunar zodiac. And so we started with the year of the snake, where I drew my snake Frank as a dragon. This one was fun. I didn't really do a lot to change him, because like it's fun to convert a snake to a dragon. So I added some cool horns, and I liked having the little talony feet, like a little wyvern with his wings kind of popping out at the bottom. I just really liked this design overall. Anatomically, I don't know if this sitting position would work very well, and it might hurt his wings, but it was cute and I liked it. And it was a good excuse to like introduce my other pet that hadn't really made it to the channel or anything. And it was a fun way to kick off the lunar zodiac. So thumbs up, I like it, and I like drawing snakes. It was just really cool. Next up was the monkey dragon of the lunar zodiac, and this one, it's a weird middle ground because I really like the design. Does it fully count as a dragon? I don't know. I feel this one is more like a monkey got mixed with a dragon. So it's in this weird gray area where I don't know if I would count it as part of this series. Like, is it more creature or is it more dragon? Like, does it fit? But I like the design, so it's a little hard for me to be like, no, it doesn't fit, because I like it. So I'd still give it like thumbs up for cool and fun design. But yeah, it feels more like a monkey got mixed with a dragon instead of a monkey being added to a dragon design, which is fine. I think this was still a fun design. See, I'm being like on and off more critical or less critical, so I apologize if it's a little hard to keep up. This is all very my opinion at the spur of the moment. So dragons. After that was the axolotl dragon, and I love this design. I was so proud of this one at the time. I remember just being super excited that I pulled it off and it looked exactly how I wanted it to in my brain. And I love all the cool extra tendrils, like the little breathing thingies. It's just really cool. I was very happy with this one. It was a little more simpler on the coloring side just because I went for this color palette of an axolotl, but I still give it a big thumbs up. This was very fun, and I love his little hands doing this. There's just so many fun design aspects to this one, so big thumbs up on that one. On to another lunar zodiac dragon, which was the Year of the Rat. I love this one too. This was just a very fun design. I felt like I had 2 wins in a row. I was just so pleased with this one. The pose was really fun. I don't know why, but I was really liking these little hands that were sitting in front of my dragons. And I just thought it was really cool. It looked like almost like a Rat King dragon with how the horns happened. So yeah, big thumbs up on this one. I was just so pleased with this one. I loved it. And then after that was the Cryptid Dragon, which I'm giving 2 big thumbs up. This one is awesome. I was very happy with this one. I pushed like what I usually do with these to the limit and did like a full background because I wanted it to have that look of like a random hunting camera capturing this creature. And I love it. I love weird, creepy stuff, and I don't draw it enough. So this one was right up my alley. I was very happy with how like the gray toning turned out. Certain parts I'm like, oh, I should have pushed this more or less, but it still was really cool. So huge thumbs up. I loved this one. And I remember this one having a lot of fun community submissions afterwards. It was cool to see how you guys interpreted this one. But I just love my weird not deer dragon. It's just so cool. I love it. So yeah, we're sitting at about a year ago now, and we did the Year of the Dog Dragon, where I turned all 3 of my dogs into dragons. This is when we announced our new puppy. A lot of people on Twitch already know Coda and Elsa, but then we got our new dog Kenshin about a year ago. It was like October of last year, and he's a riot. I love him so much. So these ones were more to highlight my dogs and less to be dragons. So these feel more like little demon dogs, if you ask me, but you know, it works. It was just a fun excuse to draw my dogs. Doesn't match the challenge, maybe not as much, but I love my cute little dogs, so I'm still gonna give this one a thumbs up. For number 89, we have the Year of the Rabbit dragon, and this one I feel was a nice fusion of rabbit and dragon. Like earlier when I said the other, like the Year of the Monkey felt more like a monkey being added with dragon aspects. This one feels like more it was a dragon added with rabbit aspects. It's hard to explain why it feels differently, but this one feels a little bit stronger towards like the dragon aspect. And I had a lot of fun coloring this one. Was it as successful as I was thinking in my head? Not really, but it still was a cool, different type of pattern to do on a creature. So I would give this one a middle of the road. There's certain things that I do and don't like. I think it's an okay design. It still does fall under the dragon, but between like coloring and like the patterning and certain anatomy things, I'd give it an okay, especially since it was only a year ago. I feel this one was one of the weaker of the newer ones. We finally hit episode 90. We're in the final 9. So the next one was a pizza dragon, which I really liked this one. It's a pretty big thumbs up for me because it was just fun doing like the crust as the horn. Like I felt this one was like really good creativity practice. Like I just went full in on like, how can I take a slice of pizza and make it a dragon? And it was just a very fun challenge to do. And I think certain aspects that I did, I was very proud of. So thumbs up for me. It was fun, and it was just a cool dragon to design. And it made me hungry because pizza. Episode 91 was a boar dragon. This one, I think, had more dragon aspects than like how Taurus was, but this still felt more like a creature and less like a dragon. But it's close enough that I can give it a pass as a dragon, like a drake type of thing. It's like a weird in between. I just also really like the design, and I like boars and pigs, so I'm a little biased on this one. So I give it like a middle of the road. I like the design overall, and the colors were really fun. but I think it could have been even more dragon-like if I pushed certain aspects a little bit more. So yeah, board dragon, cool colors, cool design. Thumbs middle of the road, more middle of the road. After that was the Year of the Ram Dragon, and this one was really cool. I really like how this turned out. This felt very cool and dragon-like, and I loved it. It just felt like a very cool and interesting, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like almost like ethereal, godlike dragon. It also gives me kind of like satanic temple vibes. It's very hard to describe, but I think he's really interesting. He feels like almost like a god or like a deity or like some type of pagan type of thing. It's really cool. I just love this design. So big thumbs up on this one. After that was the Oni Dragon. I was really happy with this one. This one kind of leaned into that cartoony style that I kind of do sometimes. And I just like the design overall. It does feel like a dragon got added to an Oni, but I like it. And I was very proud of like the tail, like converting the club to the tail of this. And it like kind of looks like one of those gecko tails. I just like this one a lot. So thumbs up on that one. This one, I just had a lot of fun designing. After that was the Rainbow Dragon. I love this one. It was really cool to do like a chameleon-based dragon, and it just had so many cool colors. And this one we were sponsored by hahah, so I got to try all of their different colors to make this rainbow effect, and I was very proud of this one. I feel this one was another milestone dragon like in this challenge, especially with the use of so many colors. I feel like my color eye has always been pretty okay, but this one made it feel like it was like actually strong after learning from all these years. And I just intuitively felt like I knew where to put the colors, and it ended up working really well. So big thumbs up on this one. Oh boy, now we're getting really current. This is only 5 months ago, so we're on the Horse Dragon, and this one was really cool. It felt like almost like a Kelpie. It was like dragon being added to horse. But I was pleased with it. It feels kind of almost like a Chinese mythical creature, or like a really cool folklore type of creature. I just really like it. It felt like how like a Kirin is. It just feels like a really cool Kirin. So thumbs up on this one. After that was the Year of the Rooster Dragon, aka a basilisk. But this one was another really cool level up, because of how I did the transition of colors on like the scale part of the arms, and just the overall use of color throughout this creature. I was just so pleased. This one I was so proud of. I instantly sent it to like all of my friends, and I was like, guys, look how cool this one is. Because I just love how I use the colors and like that shiny part of the scales. So this one is 2 big thumbs up for me, because it just was such a cool level up. And it was really cool to see what I have learned over the few years being implemented as effectively as possible on this dragon. And I feel the anatomy was solid, the detailing was solid. It was just really good. So 2 big thumbs up. I was very happy with this one. After that was the Ox Dragon, and I feel this one was what I wanted Taurus to be back in the day. So this was my redemption arc. This was my redemption episode where I like defeat the boss that beat me down before, and I make something cool, and it turned out awesome. I was so proud of this one. This one is another 2 thumbs up, because I was like jiving with this one. The design was cool, the anatomy was great, I loved the colors I picked. It just was, everything worked out exactly how I wanted it to. So it was perfect. So awesome, 2 big thumbs up. The Ox Dragon is probably one of my favorite in the final 10 for sure. It's awesome. All right, we're sitting about 3 months ago now with the Moth Dragon. I did this one for Halloween, and this one was very cute. I tried a very different type of body style to what I've done before with so many different dragons. So I like the design, and I like my overall look for this one and the anatomy. Certain things I'm a little bit nitpicky on, especially with how much further we are in the series, but it's overall good. Certain coloring things I'm still not a fan of, but I'd still give it a thumbs up. It was a fun dragon to design, and I liked the use of the type of moth I referenced for the patterning, so I liked it. And then finally, episode 99 from last month, which was the Year of the Dragon. It's funny because now that I went back and looked at the New Year's dragon from like way at the beginning of this challenge, I ended up leaning into some of the colors that I used previously. Like, I hadn't looked at the New Year's dragon in a long time, and I didn't look at it on purpose because I didn't want to accidentally have it fresh in my brain and replicate it in this final dragon. But look at that. I still accidentally kind of replicated it with my use of certain colors. I guess I'm just drawn to like those oranges and other things. But I mean, I pushed other colors a little bit more, so it's interesting. It's just kind of cool to see how the older dragons still influence the new dragons. Or at least like how my design styling of like how I design things still very much influences me in general. But yeah, final dragon. This one took forever. I went out with a bang on a very detailed dragon, at least for the 99, because you guys will have to see how the 100 one comes out, because that one is going to be the most detailed dragon I have ever done in my life. Ever. Like forever. 5 evers. Like it's nuts. But yeah, second to final dragon, big thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, honestly. It was really fun with all the detailing, and I felt it was such a strong design. And it's cool to see going through all this. I feel so many of the things I learned came out in this last one with like detailing and anatomy and layout and all that. It's really cool to see. So yeah, there's the 99 dragons. I have a feeling this video is going to be sitting right around 2 hours. So Godspeed to you all if you made it here to the end. Even if you scrubbed through or skipped around or whatever, like, you still made it here. So it's, yeah, crazy. One big reflection I have with this challenge is it just took so much longer than I thought it would. And it's been around for almost the entirety of this channel. It's going to be 8 years in January, I think. Let me double check. I think it's 8 years I've been on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, as of right now, my oldest video, it's saying 7 years, but it was posted in January. So when January comes around, it's going to be 8 years of this channel. And the Dragon Challenge has been around for 5. So it's been more than half of my channel life. I have been doing this challenge, and we are finally almost done. It's like both awesome, but also kind of bittersweet. It's a mix. This challenge was really good in terms of like learning, and I do agree with Jake Parker. Doing 100 of something will make you better at that something, and it really pushes your creativity to think of more things. And it did help having community challenges. Like, I didn't have to think of all these on my own. Like, you guys had amazing suggestions, and we made a lot of cool dragons over these years. But to be totally candid with you guys, this challenge was challenging. It was hard to continue, but I wanted to see it to the end. In terms of like the back end, I've talked about it on other videos, but one thing you should keep in mind if you want to do something like this for social media per se, it's weird how the algorithm sees it. You know, it does pretty well on like other platforms on and off, but YouTube did not like it. I know this one was more for like a design challenge and not the algorithm, but it did play a lot into where my channel has been the last couple years, especially on the months where I only posted a dragon video. And it's like such a mixed feeling right now because I am so proud I finished it, but it took so long, and like it's been such a big point in my life that it's also like sad to see it go. And it was a little emotional to see kind of where we started. I guess like the big thing is like it was kind of emotional because I saw a lot of usernames or faces I haven't seen in a long time. And I know life changes. Like, I'm different than I was 5 years ago. All of you are different than you were 5 years ago. And just the fluctuation of the community is very interesting because it feels so slow on the day-to-day. And then you go back and watch these and you're like, wow, things have changed. Like, I'm different. I present differently. I talk differently. I feel like I'm still inside kind of the same, but I'm different now. Like, I'm 31 this year, and I started this when I was 26. So even in my 20s, I felt like I was a different person. And here in my 30s, I feel totally different. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to reflect. And that was a very long tangent in terms of like what I feel about this. For those of you who have stuck around in this challenge or jumped in and out and watched a few videos, or maybe just now discovered it, like, thank you for participating in this and following me along as I made 100 different dragons and like 100 different videos. It's crazy. It was so much work, but so worth it. I feel it's a pretty big accomplishment to look at them like in person and how many there are. Like, just so many physical drawings that we've done over all of these years. Just so many dragons. It's crazy. So I wanted to thank you guys for following me along on this journey. And it was really cool to reflect and see how much we've grown like over the years. Not even just me, but like community members that participated in like the first one. Like, it's so cool to see how much you guys have grown too. Like, we've all grown together through these 5 years and through all of these challenges. So yeah, we're almost done. We got the last one. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be posted sometime in January. I don't have a date because I still have a lot to finish. So I'm going to be working through it all through December and probably parts of January. But I hope the wait is worth it for you guys. I hope you really enjoy the final dragon. And yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys, like, for following along on this journey and like participating and being a part of this with me and sticking around, even though this series has fluctuated so much. Like, it's just been up and down. I've posted on and off. Like, I got burnt out so many times through it while running this channel. And I got a lot of advice to not continue it when I went to VidCon. Like, a lot of people I know were like, if it's not doing good, it's not gonna look good on your channel. And I'm like, I was like, I don't care. Like, I want to finish it. Like, it's a huge undertaking, but I wanted it to be done. And I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad you guys stuck around for any part of it that you did. So, anyway, I'm getting kind of emotional in a weird way. But yeah, thanks guys. It was, I feel I'm going to get more emotional when I finish the 100th one because it's kind of setting in, but I can't believe we did it. 100 dragons. And I'm not doing another 100 challenge for a very long time, if ever again. Maybe something smaller, like 100 little pixies. Even that sounds a little intimidating, but yeah, you guys are awesome. I love all of you. Thank you for supporting me for all these years. And I'll catch you probably in January for our final dragon. So anyway, see you all later. Have a wonderful end of the year. And love you guys. Bye.